So we're going to start with this one, the React clone, which was the second assignment. And I'll show you guys what we need to do. So usually what I do is I just go over the introduction or the README, and I just understand what I need to do. So it says this app can be broken down into two main sections. You will need to implement for the search and the posts. To complete this project, you will be a single instance of search bar being rendered at the top of the page, as well as and that renders individual poses every inside the demo. Use what you learned yesterday to set up the keep track of the posts. You will implement a callback to increase the likes and things like look through the code before you start. So I think I understand most of it. So I think I already forked it. Oh, no, I didn't fork it. Let me fork it. In case I push the code, it doesn't push to the main Gaby school. Then I'll just clone it. We cannot clone it here, so we have to go to another folder. I'll say cd examples, git clone. Okay, cd react js code dot. Okay. So usually what I do is, since there's no node module, that means we need to do npm install. So I usually just open it here. I say npm install. Does its job. Then, and you guys can stop me anytime, ask me a question. I just wanna go through it, and you guys have an understanding of what how to do it, and like you can compare what you did to this, inshallah. So npm start. That will start that. Let me close other things. Okay, so there's nothing here, so that's fine. So then what I would do is the first step is I'll go to the packages, and I'll see if there's packages already installed. I don't see many packages. That seems to be the default. And then I'll go to app.js, and here's where the instructions are. So start here and work your way down nested component, and not all files to the project. Look each file to see what properties need to be passed. Import the state. I need to import state, so I'll probably need to use state. Import posts and search bar. So I need to import a component called posts from, and always look at the name, the capital. Is it capital name? Keep in mind that always components have a capital letter. The first letter is capitalized. So components / posts / posts. Okay, next one is a search. So I'll just say import search. Search bar, I think that's what it is. Search bar from, it's in components, search bar. Sometimes make sure you don't just grab the folder, and you also grab the file. The next thing is I need to import the dummy data. So I'll say import dummy data from dummy data here. All right, so I did that. Create a state called posts to hold arrays of posts and initialize it with the dummy data. Okay, so I'll say const posts, and here I'll say set posts and use state, and I'll initialize it with dummy data. Okay, that's how it is. Yeah, initialize with the dummy data, And then it says here, this state is a source of truth for data inside the app. You won't be needing dummy data anymore. So, okay. To make the search work, which is a stretch, you will need to, so when it says which is a stretch, you could always skip. So once you finish everything, then you could go back to it. So once it says a stretch, I always just skip. Here, add the search bar and posts to render. So those are components that I rendered. So I'll add the search bar first, and then I'll add the posts here. Okay. All right. So save. So that gave me an issue. Use state. What did I do wrong? Okay, post this. So this is one of the things I need to actually correct. Let me actually correct now from the main thing. So post this and post it doesn't have use state. So let me just correct that completely. So students come in, the other students come in don't have issues with it. So here, components, post this, and then post. See, we have use state here, but we don't have the use state imported. So I can quickly edit it here. So the next time someone has clones it, doesn't have issue with it. Use state. Okay. Save this. Okay, so that's done. So we need to do that right here. Post this, post, and here we just need to import use state. Okay, so now we have the search bar, so it's all good. And for example, it had this issue, and how would I know? How do I know that it's in this file? What do you guys think? How did I just go to this file and know that that's what the problem is coming from? What do you guys think?
It shows there on the
error, right?
Yeah, the error, the first line.
Yep. So always just read the error. If you learn how to read errors, you're gonna have a good time programming. So now it says the problem is in post, and it gives you even the path right here. So that's what it is, and also it gives you the line, and it gives you two numbers. The first number is the horizontal, so counting from here 1 2 3 4 5 6, and the second line, which is 31, is the row. So row 31, which was is row 31. Sometimes it gives you like wrong number. No, actually, yeah, sorry. The first one is the row. The second one is the columns. So row and column, row and column, row and column. Just keep that in mind. So this is the row and this is the column. So now row 12, which is this one, column 31. So somewhere here. You could also, I think there's an extension where you could have the numbers here too, per line. So it's talking about this area. So that's, and then it says use state is not defined. So it gives you everything you need to solve that problem. And later when you have other problems, keep that in mind. Reading the errors is the first step. Okay, so now we have that. So check the implementation of each component to see what props they require, if any. So now we imported this. We don't care about the search because it's a stretch. So now we have the post. So we need to check posts. So posts, what props does it require? Who can tell me what props does it require here? What is the name of the props that it requires?
Posts.
Posts right here. So this is the name it's expecting for you to pass to this posts component. So now we're showing the posts here, and we can actually test by just writing something here. So if we say something like a paragraph, and we say test, save it, it shows test there, but it's asking us, it's saying we need to pass the props. So that's posts, and the way to pass the prop is put it right here. So it's expecting that, and then we say, and that's how we put, if we want to pass a prop that is a state or a variable or something like that. If it's not a state or variable, you could just say that and just write something here, and that will pass there. So now what are we going to pass is the state, which is posts. So these all names posts are a little bit confusing, but this is the state. This is the component right here. It's a capital P, and we just gave it a name. We could change that name by just whatever we want here. So we could say something like data, save this, and then call this data, right? You could do that too. So that's how you pass a prop to there. So now we pass the props. The next step is we need to know how to render these props. You could also console log the props if you want. You could do so many things with it. Console log props. And now if we open our console, you will see that right here we have an object, and it tells you the line too, line 8. So if you open it, you see it has the data. Inside the data, there's two things. So that's how you pass it. All right. So the next thing is we have to map over the props that we pass, which is posts. So let's do that. Not post. Okay, post this. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna map over it. To map over it, we need to put that because it's a JavaScript, and then we say data now. We say map, and we could put function here. We'll say here post. It's a one post, and then we'll open it. Here we'll just say return. So here it says map through the posts array, returning a post component at each iteration. What does that mean? What do you guys think? Where are we sending the data of this component? And as you can see here, we imported one thing here too ahead of time.
We're gonna send it to the post.
To the post, yeah, to render the data, right?
Yep.
So we're iterating over it, we're mapping over it, and then we're passing each post to this component called post. So post, let's call it whatever. We could call it whatever, or you could go to that component and see what props it's expecting. So it's expecting post. So here we just say post is equal to post. I think that's pretty much it for that. Save. And as you can see, our components are rendered just like that. If we get the name wrong, like this one, if we call it something like posts, that will not work. It will give you error because you have to go here and also change this name, posts, change it everywhere where it says posts. So just keep it post. Okay, so now we have that. So what is this expecting us to do? All right, so let's see. So the next thing is we could go back. If you don't know what to do next, you could always go back to the README and see what you could what is the next step after you finish that. So we did this broken down to 2 to complete project to single instance search bar, use OGLN. Okay. Look through the code. Okay, so we have to kind of like look through each component to see what it needs. So we can look through the like section. Okay, post header. Okay, make sure the parent post header is passing. Okay, so we can just read through them. In here, so let me just talk about this. I don't know why this is giving me issue. This is a state for the likes. If you pass a state correctly, the heart button should increase the likes. Okay. So this is the likes. This is state for the likes. A function to increase the number of likes. So the function is already there. Okay. And here we have post header, which is this one. Okay, showing that. Then we have the image, which is the normal image that we have, which is this image. And we have like section. Okay, so this like section, it's like section getting all the props it needs to work correctly. So we can go to like section and see what props it's asking for. So what props is this component asking for? If you look at it, so you have to just look at the props here, and then whatever is inside here, that's what's asking for, right?
Increment likes.
Increment likes and number of likes. That's what's asking for. We go back to post and see the component here, like section. It has the increment likes, so that's already passed to it. We don't have the number of likes. So the number of likes would be this likes. So we could also cancel log it. So if you're confused about something, just always just cancel log. So just say likes, save. And as you can see, it shows 400, 4,307. So that seems to be the likes. So we're gonna pass here, and it's expecting it in a certain name. So it says number of likes. So I have to copy that and post it here. And then this will be likes. So now these likes, the 100 likes should change, but they will not change. They will not change. Why? Why is that? So the 100 is not changing. We just passed the number of likes in the props, but the 100 is there. It's supposed to be like 400 or something.
You gotta change the hard code.
The likes are hard coded. Yeah. So you have to change this to dynamic. So this would be number of likes. So if we save that 400, 4,300, and also here I'll just say likes here, because that's how it was before. So how many likes? Now the next thing we can do is we need to, here it gives us the instruction. It says we need to create an onClick function and pass the increment property, which is this. So as you could imagine, the like it's coming from the heart button. So the heart button would be this. This would be the heart, because it says here heart. So we just need to pass it in here, onClick, and give it the increment likes. Save that, and that should work for us. You can see there's so many things you could do. You could change the color of the heart, make it red, just like red when you click it, and then the same this color when you click it again, so it adds or it removes or something like that. But to do that, you just have to have an account. You have to sign up, all that stuff. How do you know who's who and all that stuff? How do you keep track of who's liking it? That's what I mean. Any questions so far? I think this section, unless we want to do like the search bar, we add something, then this section is done. Okay. So if you guys don't have any question, we can move on. Let's close this. Let's close that. Oh, I have a video playing in the background, sorry. I was uploading stuff to the school website, YouTube. All right, so the next the next thing would be the next project. And that would be, let's see, a side effect. And this would be the NASA. I think this one, most of you got it. There was like a small thing that was you guys have an issue with, which was how to show the data. And also I gave you example of like the cat, another example. So do you guys want me to do this one, or it wasn't the hardest one, because you just only get an API, use effect, and then render the image and the text and things like that, and then just style it with CSS, right? What do you guys think? Should we go over this one, or you get the hang of it?
I think that was a basic, most like forward,
Yeah.
straightforward.
Yeah, this one was not the hardest one, because it had almost everything you needed already. Just the setup, basically, not everything. And then all you need to do is use effect to render an API. Use Axios and use effect to render API. The only hard thing was just looking at the data and finding what you need, and also going to the website, getting the keys, and then rendering that. That was the hard one.
Yeah, this was easy.
Yeah. So the use effect and all that, I think you guys get the hang of it. And we did the review already, so that was good thing. The React router, I think this one was a little bit harder one. React router for the movies. Okay. Let me see. I think I did this one before. So let's see. What is this one? So my computer, I'm having a hard time because like I cannot right click and open with like terminal. I don't know if the sheet has a Mac, so if you know how to do that, let me know. So here, so say cd to Gavi, and here we will say cd to build. I think this was the one I did, so we can use it as a reference. Let me say. Okay, yeah, this one is a reference. Okay, so now let's just clone that one. cd example. Let's fork it, and then clone it, and then start. So copy this, and let's just read quickly the here. So it says basically we need to create our own, although I have npm start, npm install. We have two things. We have the server and we have the client, which is the React, and then we say install. Okay, and then here it gives me a screenshot of once you're done your application, you will have two routes. One route should show this, the movies. The other route should show an ID of the movie and more description of the movie. And also I have to make the home link clickable so that you can go to all the movies. So when user clicks on the movies card inside movie list, they should be taken to the movie / the ID of the movie. You need to modify line 7 of movie card to get the selected movie from the URL, find the home button inside the saved list.js, and add a functionality so that you can navigate back home. We should now able to navigate back home between the movies and detail. Okay. All right, so that's all I need. Now, let me just, okay. So did I, no, I didn't, okay. I'll say git clone cd build code. Okay, so here is everything. this is the server. I usually just look at things just like this. You guys will get to this part, the Node.js. But I just like looking at things as I see this says require. It looks like this is like import. So we're importing Express, things like that. And I see the movies are in like a objects array of objects. Okay, and then I see a couple of endpoints for API. So this is, I'm assuming this is all the movies. This is a specific movie. And I'm assuming this is if you want to add a movie, this is what you use. Okay, so let's start that one. I think we have to say npm install first. npm start, should say 500. So that's good. And then I'll open a new terminal here, and then cd into client. And here we can just look through it. It's basic React setup. I don't see anything. So npm install. And then npm start. Then this finishes. My old computer would have taken like 15 to 20 minutes to do the npm install stuff. npm start. Yeah, I had a hard time with that computer. Okay, so I see it says replace the div with your routes. Make sure that to pass the state as props. So it already gives me instruction here. If I open, I usually just open the app.js. Okay, I see I have a API set up for me, a couple of things imported. I have two states here. I see this one says stretch, so that means I don't have to do it right now. I have some instructions here, so always look at the instructions. What is it actually asking you? Study this, the response with this with the console log. So that makes sense. So I'm just gonna console log it and study it. Response, save. Open this, expand it, and then inspect. All right, so this is probably the response. I see it says config here, a lot of config stuff. I see some data here. The data shows the movies from the server. If I open a movie, it has the director ID, a Metascore title. So that makes sense. And each movie is in an object, and they're all in an array. There are 6 of them. So that's generally what I need to know to render everything. So now it says and set the response data to the movie list state. So the response data, okay, so this data right here, the object itself, this object contains, this is the response. This response is this object. It contains config, data, header, request. So what I'm looking for is the data. So I have to say response.data, right? So if I want to set it to state, I'll say, and I just look at the state. Okay, this is probably the state. And it tells me here movie list. This is the state. Say set movie list to response.data. Okay. Finish that step. Okay, more right in here. This is a stretch, so I'm just gonna skip that. Here's replace this div with your routes. Okay, and you remember it gave us the routes when we had the description here. So it says here one route, which is a slash that loads the movie list component. So that's good description. So we can get rid of this. So one route. So to do the routes, we need to have the React router down, right? So to know, so we need to know if we have that. We have it here. So it's installed, but remember one of the requirements of React router down is we have to wrap it. We have to wrap app on top of React router down. So this is already imported. So no, it says import. So this is a comment. So import I'll say browser. I think it's browser, and you can look at the documentation. You could search how to import React Router DOM. How's the router? React Router DOM. And I did this in the lecture, so you guys might remember how to do it. So right here, we're just gonna wrap it over this. So React Router DOM. Sorry. Router. Copy this. Paste it here. Make sure you have the comma here to let this one to be on the next line. Save that. And also it will give you error if you don't do that. So once you start doing the router here and all that, it will give you error. And then we have to import all the things we need. We need route, and we need a switch from the React Router DOM. Who can tell me what the switch does? What is it? What is a switch for?
Like navigation or?
So the navigation, yes. So the switch is a easy way to make it so that you can render, it allows you to render the first one. So it looks at the first one, and if that's what you're looking for, it gives you. If not, it will just go down the line and look for the one that you need. And then the first one it gets, that's the one it renders. It's like a query selector. Remember query selector in JavaScript? If you have a list of things and you say query selector, it only grabs the first one. So also we have to import the, what was it, movie list component. So that'll be the component. I'm not sure if it's imported. It's not imported. And you could just go here to movies and then see movie list here. Movies. Movie list. Okay, so that's that. But we're not doing this because we're doing a route. So we have to wrap this. This has to be inside a route. So let's do that. And remember that in the README, it said that we need to have a slash. So we say route here, path, slash. And we put the route around it. We probably need to pass a prop here in this component. So, but let's just do the routes for now. We need one more route. So the more specific the route is, it needs to go up above everything else. So the next thing is, what do we need to import? Okay, this component need to be, okay, so we did that. This component will need a prop from the state in the app.js. So this is the prop it's looking for. But we need to know what should we name our prop. So we go to movie list and we see what props it's expecting. And here's the props it's expecting, movies. So that's what we're gonna call it. Movie list, which is the state right here. Okay, save that. Okay, so it says movie list is not defined. App.js, line 40. Okay. Okay, this one we imported incorrectly. So always double check this spelling. Oh, okay, we have the movies. So that was easy. Now the next thing is we need to create another path for a specific movie. So where is it? So once the route okay, one route will take an ID parameter. So say slash movies slash then ID. This route should load movie card component. So another route with a movie card component. This would be path. This would be something like slash movie slash an ID, right? That's what we're looking for. And here we'll grab the movie card component. It's not imported, so we have to import that movie card component. From movies and then movie card. Okay. So nothing should work now because we haven't worked on anything. We haven't done the connection, the links. So here it says that we did this. Add functionality when user clicks on a movie card inside the movie list, they should be able to be taken to movie/ID. So we have to put some link in movie list here because that's the instruction here. Use a link from React Router DOM to make each movie clickable. So we have to add a link here. So let's say link. It's going to import for us. Two. And here would be a dynamic because we need to kind of like say movie.id. So to do that, we need to let me see. So we need to put inside here template literal, just like that, and then we need to add slash movies slash, and then right here where we add the it's inside here. This is where we add the template literal. Here we say movie.id. And let me know if you don't understand this part. I can explain more if you guys want. Let's put this underneath here. So right here. Okay, save that. No error. We click a movie. It says loading movie information. So that means we don't have the actual movie. Click this, it's not going to take us anywhere. It's loading the ID of the movie, but it's not loading the movie. Okay, let's go here, movie card. And if we read the instructions, if we go back. So when we did that, we did this. You need to modify line 7 on movie card. Line 7 right here. Okay, what do we need to do in line 7? Get rid of the ID of the selected movie from URL. Okay, get the ID, not get rid. Get the ID. So to get the ID, remember that we need to use use prompts. Use prompts. So I'll just put here use prompts, and we can import it like that from React Router DOM. Okay. So I guess we save that. And that might make it work. No, not yet. Okay, we have a lot more to do. So we need to we need to set the state just like we did on the index.js. So set the state. So we'll say, so this is the state. So we set movies or movie, and then set the response. I just assume it's a response.data. I'm assuming, I'm not sure if it's 100%. Okay, so that works. Response.data works. So it shows everything we need to know. There's a button here. I'm not sure if that button will work. But we don't have this button working. Ahmed Solo, welcome, bro.
Oh, thank you.
We're just doing review of, not review, we're actually doing the assignment. We're doing the router assignment. So when we click, you see the link. So now what we need to do is we need to make this button work. That's the only thing left, I think. And that is, if we go back to the, I closed it. If we go back to here, it says find a home button inside save list. So save list here, and this is the button. We need to make this clickable, and we need to set it to / only. So I'll just probably convert this div, or not. I can just put this in link here, and then import that. Say to / okay, and then move this link to the end here. Save that. And that way, when we click this, we're here, click home, takes us to the movies. So that's pretty much it. Any question? Any question you guys have about this? How we did something, how we set up, all that stuff. We have the stretch here. We do a lot of things here. So the stretch is like, you could add a lot. You could add a functionality here to add movies, create a form, all that stuff. Okay. So I think that was the last assignment, other than the sprint project. Any question? Anything you guys wanted me to go over? How you guys want to do it? Because we have about maybe 20-30 minutes maximum. How we can do it, or I can give you the time, or we can, each person can, if you have any question, we can go over it. So whatever way you guys want. And Ahmed, I recorded this so you could see the other assignments that we worked on. We did one assignment and this one. Let's see the last time, the one we did, the new week, the forms. So the form is very similar to everything we did, except that you just need to create a form. You need to add 2 functionalities, one to handle change and then handle submit, and then show the list of people. And this one is the one you guys doing right now, or finished it. So please go ahead and submit the assignments that you don't have, because I don't see a lot of assignments you guys submitted. So if you're having a hard time with any part of the assignments, let me know. I can go over it. I can help you understand. So make sure you do this one. This one generally is like you create your own React. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna clone it, fork it, clone it, and then do the setup. So I can do the setup for you if you want. I already cloned it. So let me just go there. We can do the basic setup, and then you can go from there. So the setup would be something like this. I'll say git clone, cd. It would be, the name would be form, and then I'll say code dot. Okay, so this one, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna create a new React, and you can see here instruction, mbx create React app team builder. So forget about this part. I should have edited this, but that's what you can do. So right here, I'm just gonna go to terminal and then paste that, and it's gonna create a new folder for me where I have the React and everything I need to do. So it's gonna finish that. Okay, I open this. It's just basic React. Then I can say cd to team builder. And then I'll say npm start we're already using 3000. So, okay. So this is our start. You could do your cleanup, all that stuff. But the main thing is just we need to do like basic setup. So that was the setup. That was how you do the setup. And then render list of team members from state. You could do different ways. We did this several times. How to render something from state. You could put them in, you have to put them in like an object, array of objects. So where is it? That's what I was doing. Okay, right here. So right here, you could, to do that, so you can get rid of all this if you want. So in here, we can set up the state. You could say something like const team, set team, and then here use the state. Not that use state. Use the state. They're doing that. Okay, here we need to have a, we cannot map over it unless we have a array. So we have array, and then the array has several, we can add a couple of more team members, and the team members need to have these values. Where is it? It's a name, email, and role. That's what you need to have. Okay, so name, say Ahmed, email, Ahmed@gmail, Ahmed@gmail, and the last thing would be role. So something like developer. Okay, and then you could just do a couple, like one or two of this. Make sure there's a comma between this. I'll call this Farah. Here, Farah. I'll say Abdi. Okay, could be whatever. The role could be anything. So that would be setting up the state, basically. Setting up a list of team members. Build a form that add a new member to the list. So let's actually render the list of these, the team members. And way to render it is you have to map over it. There's no other way of showing it. So you could do it in here, or you could create a new component to map over it and pass that. So what I would do is I can create a folder and call it components, and then create a new component here, and I'll call it teams. I'll call it team.js, and then I'll create a new React here. So I'll say component. So React functional component RFC, I think. Yep. And then just you map over here. So you pass it from here. You could say team. We could import automatically and pass it here. Team members. You could say here if you want. And this would be the state. So team. That's how you pass it, and then you go back here, and then you use props to render it, and then you map over it, and that's how you show it. And then you create a form here, component.js, and this form component will be RFC. This form component would be will create a form to add. You could also use the same thing we did in the lecture. There's a function that you could use, and you can put it right here, and then that function will create a new member for you, and then you could pass that function to form. You can put the form here. It's a component. Hopefully that makes sense, and then you could go from there, inshallah. Any question? Any question? Okay. So if you guys don't have any question, we'll conclude it here. Try to submit as many as you can. We want to move forward. We have a lot to cover. The next lesson is very advanced. It's not that advanced, but it's much more advanced than the form you guys did. It's going to be a lot more advanced. Then we have class components. It's going to be, we're going to learn a lot about classes, and there's going to be more about classes lifecycle, React lifecycle. What's it, class lifecycle? Yeah, this is going to be more about the classes. So we're going to have mounting, unmounting, component, did mount. It's important to learn classes since you guys, you will see a lot of the classes. So don't fall behind. Like if you don't submit any assignments, if you don't try your best, it's going to be really hard to catch up. So try to crank it out and like put the time in and send as many things as you can, so we can move forward and finish this section, inshallah. So if you guys don't have any other question, we'll conclude it here.
Thank you, Ma'am.
No problem. Anytime, inshallah. Take care, guys.